Good morning, all my dear students of class 7. Once again, welcome into this online video lecture series that we started for your convenience, for your study here. So, this is your maths teacher and the host of this video, Ajit Haridas Mane. Welcome again. Now, in this online video lecture series, presently I am continuing your second lesson of your mathematics here. The name of that lesson you already known there, that is the multiplication and division of fractions here. So this is our third video. In previously two videos we complete the basic information about integers there. That is, in video number 1 we continues the basic information like types of integers, representation on number line, their magnitude of each integer, and in second video we continues the basic information that is in the format of revise up the two operations, that is addition and subtraction. I hope so you will be understand the whole information that I am explaining in first two videos. So today we start for our third video, that is on this second lesson, multiplication and division of integers here. So on this green board here I am taking the heading of our lesson, that is multiplication and division of integers. So already here I am saying this is our third video. So for your convenience here I am getting video number 3 to make understand. Now into this third video, after addition and subtraction we are moving towards our third operation, that is on integer, that is named as multiplication. So in addition we continues 4 conditions for the addition of 2 or more than 2 integers. In subtraction also we are making 3 conditions. Now in multiplication, today's the first operation that we continues here, that is about multiplication here. So in front of you on this green board here I am taking the heading of multiplication. Now already we are knowing about 3 types of integers there. So clearly we can say positive integer, negative integers and neutral numbers here. So if you make the combination for the multiplication, so from standard 1 up to standard 5 we completed the multiplication process between two counting numbers that we also called as whole numbers there. Now same way we are going to continue the multiplication process here, but this multiplication process is continuing between two integers here. Now let's take our simple example in front of you. Now this example in this way, that is 19 multiplied by 5 present here. So 19, this is our counting number. Here I am going in previous matter. 19, that is a whole number, 5 is also whole number. I am not coming into the integer. Now up to 5th standard we continues that how to multiply these two number. Now 19, this is called as multiplicand, 5 that known as a multiplier. So if you take the product of these two numbers, 19 5s are, that we get as a 95 there. Now this 95, it is called as product, that is the answer of multiplication. Such information that we completed up to 5th standard there. But in this 7th standard we are moving towards the multiplication of integers. So how to multiply given two integers? So first I am explaining the different conditions for multiplication. Then we can make their explanation. So first condition that I want to put up in front of you, that's in front of to multiply between two positive integers. Second condition that here I am taking, multiplication between two negative integers. Third condition that here I am getting in front of you, multiplication between one positive and one negative integer. These are main three conditions for the multiplication, but with respect to these three conditions, we are also making another fourth condition here. This condition in this way, multiplication between neutral number and other integers. So already you know about the neutral number, that is the 0, this 0, and if you take other integers, that is positive and negative, then we also making multiplication there. So these are four different conditions for the multiplication into this main multiplication operation. थोडं मराठीत जर आपण पाहण्याचा प्रयत्न केला, पूर्णांक संख्यांचा गुणाकार या ठिकाणी आपल्याला पाहायचा आहे. हा गुणाकार पाहत असताना प्रामुख्याने दोन पूर्णांकांच्या मध्ये गुणाकार अगोदर आपण शिकणार आहोत. तर या दोन पूर्णांकांमध्ये गुणाकाराची क्रिया करत असताना वेगवेगळ्या अटी ज्या आपल्या समोर या ठिकाणी येतात. पहिली अट जी तुमच्या समोर लिहिलेली आहे या ठिकाणी ग्रीन बोर्डवरती, टू मल्टिप्लाय बिटवीन टू पॉझिटिव्ह इंटीजर्स, दोन धनपूर्णांकांमध्ये गुणाकाराची क्रिया करणे. दुसरी अट जी तुमच्या समोर मी लिहिलेली आहे, मल्टिप्लिकेशन बिटवीन टू निगेटिव्ह इंटीजर्स, दोन ऋण पूर्णांकांमध्ये गुणाकाराची क्रिया करणे. थर्ड कंडिशन, तिसरी अट त्या ठिकाणी तुम्हाला दिसते ग्रीन बोर्डवरती, मल्टिप्लिकेशन बिटवीन वन पॉझिटिव्ह अँड वन निगेटिव्ह इंटीजर, एक धनपूर्णांक संख्या आणि एक ऋणपूर्णांक संख्या यांच्यामध्ये गुणाकाराची क्रिया. आणि चौथी अट आपण तयार केलेली आहे, न्यूट्रल नंबर, चिन्हविरहित संख्या जे आपण शून्य म्हणून घेतो, आणि इतर पूर्णांक संख्या म्हणजे ती धन असोत किंवा ऋण पूर्णांक असोत यांच्यामध्ये गुणाकाराची क्रिया करणे. अशा या चार कंडिशन्स, या चार अटींचा अभ्यास या ठिकाणी आपल्याला गुणाकार क्रियेमध्ये करायचा आहे. म्हणून या ठिकाणी वन बाय वन आपण प्रत्येक अटीला तुमच्या समोर ठेवतोय आणि प्रत्येक अटीमध्ये गुणाकार करत असताना त्या ठिकाणी साइन चेंजेस, चिन्हांमधला बदल हा सगळ्यात महत्त्वाचा आहे. या ठिकाणी तो बदल कसा करायचा, तो बदल कसा ठेवायचा आहे हे या ठिकाणी आपण एक्सप्लेन करतोय. सो इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू हिअर आय एम पुटिंग द फर्स्ट कंडिशन, दॅट इज The first condition that here I am taking, multiplication between two positive integers. So let's take the first example for this condition here. This example in front of you in this way. Now 9 multiplied by 7. Here I am starting from simplest positive integer. While writing 9 and 7, here I am not using plus sign. Now you can remember why I am not using plus sign here, because when we write positive integer, there is no compulsion for writing plus sign. So if you write any integer without sign, then it's supposed as a positive integer. So here, while taking the product of these two integer here, first take the product of their magnitude. Now the magnitude of this magnitude of this plus 9, that here I am taking 9 into magnitude of plus 7, that's simply taken as a 7. So here take the product, 9 7s are 63, or you can say as a 7 9s are 63. Now with respect to both are positive here, that means if we take this multiplication between signs, positive into positive, that makes positive here, that is plus 63. So from this here I am saying that when we continues the multiplication between two positive integer, first we take the product of their magnitude and then we take the product of their signs also. So the product of their magnitude comes as 63 and the product of their signs, that comes as plus. That means in the multiplication, plus into plus, that always get plus. So in a simple sentence here I am saying that the product of two positive integer is always positive integer. दोन धनपूर्णांक संख्यांचा गुणाकार हा नेहमी धनपूर्णांक संख्याच असतो, हे कायम लक्षात ठेवायचं. Let's take another example for this. Now here I am taking somewhat another, that is 316 multiplied by 18. Now integer number here I am taking quite greater. 316, this is a 3-digit number, 18, that is a 2-digit number. So if you make the table easily of 18, then you can make multiplication in horizontal way, or you can continue in a vertical arrangement also. Now present, let's observe the example. While writing 316, I am not using any sign behind that. That means this is says as a positive integer. And if we observe about 18, there is no sign behind this 18. That is 18 also says as a positive integer. Now the sign between these two positive integer, it is of multiplication. So if we take the product of their magnitude, that is magnitude of plus 316 is simply 316 and magnitude of plus 18, it is simply says as 18. So let's take product of these two magnitude. So 18 6 that is 108. Thereafter 18 1s are 18, 18 plus 10, that is 28, 2 carry, 18 3s are 54 plus 2, 56. So we got the product of their magnitude as 5688. Now with respect to both are positive, that means plus into plus, that's important here, that always get plus. So once again same condition here I am revising, the product of these two positive integer, that comes as positive integer. So this is our first condition. Thereafter let's move towards our second condition. Multiplication between two negative integers. Now for this condition here I am taking the first example. Let's observe here, that is minus 8 into bracket minus 13. So minus 8, this is a negative integer, and minus 13, this is also negative integer. So while taking the product of these two negative integer, the step is that first take the magnitude of these two integer. So magnitude of minus 8, that is simply 8 into magnitude of minus 13, it is simply 13. Now let's take product of these two magnitudes. So 13 8s are 104. Thereafter, second part of multiplication. After taking the product of both magnitudes, now we want to take the product of their signs. Now presently both integers are negative, that means we had to continue the signs multiplication in this way, that is minus into minus. So as per mathematical operation here in integer, minus into minus, that always get plus here. So we says here the product of any two negative integer is always positive integer. दोन ऋण पूर्णांक संख्यांचा गुणाकार हा नेहमी धन पूर्णांक संख्याच येतो, हे कायम लक्षात ठेवायचं आहे. तर या ठिकाणी चिन्हांच्या गुणाकारामध्ये लक्ष देत असताना जर वजा वजा चिन्हांचा गुणाकार असेल तर त्या वजा वजा चिन्हांच्या गुणाकाराचं उत्तर हे नेहमी अधिक म्हणजे धनचिन्ह त्या ठिकाणी येतं, हे या ठिकाणी लक्षात ठेवा. So this is our second condition for the multiplication here. This is our second rule. After this we are following third condition. Now this is somewhat different for us. So in this third condition, multiplication between one positive and one negative integer. Now this is somewhat important condition for us. So here to explain this condition in front of you, here I am taking the first example. Let's observe here, that is this example in this way, 17 multiplied by minus 4. This example here I am putting. Now if you observe this first example, two integers here I am taking, 17, this integer positive here because we do not put up any sign behind this 17, so that is term, that is supposed as a positive integer, and minus 4, while writing this integer here I am putting minus sign behind this 4, so that term adds negative integer. That means this is the multiplication between one positive and other negative integer. Now while taking the multiplication here, first take out the magnitude of these two integers. So magnitude of plus 17 is simply 17 into magnitude of minus 4 is simply 4. Now let's take first step, product of these two magnitudes. So 17 into 4, that is 17 4s are 68, or you can say 4 17s are 68. So the product of these two magnitude comes as 68. Now the most important part coming here, after taking the product of their magnitudes, now we had to take the product of their signs. Now 617, this is presently plus, that means positive integer, into minus 4, this is negative integer, so this minus sign. So when two opposite signs plus and minus that are coming into the multiplication, the product of these signs is always comes minus here. So plus into minus always get minus. So we attach minus sign to this 68. That means the product of these two integer, it comes as negative integer. Let's take another example here. Now this example in this way, minus 6 into 24. So here minus 6, this is a negative integer, and 24 presently positive integer. So while taking the multiplication between these two integer, first we continue the multiplication of their magnitudes. So magnitude of minus 6 is 6 into magnitude of 24 is simply 24. Now let's take product of these two magnitude. So 6 24s are, or 24 6s are, that's important here. That comes as 144. Now this is your first step. Second step, now we had to take the product of signs. So minus into plus, that's important here. Again, if you observe here in multiplication, there is the combination of plus and minus here. That means two opposite sign. So the product of this sign multiplication comes as minus. So we attach minus sign here. So we got the answer as minus 144. That means from this two examples, here I am stating the rule for this third most important condition here. When we continues the multiplication between one positive and one negative integer, their product always comes in the form of negative integer. जेव्हा एक धनपूर्णांक संख्या आणि एक ऋणपूर्णांक संख्या यांच्यामध्ये आपण गुणाकाराची क्रिया करतो, त्यांच्या गुणाकाराचं उत्तर हे नेहमी ऋणपूर्णांक संख्येमध्येच येतं. सगळ्यात महत्त्वाचा भाग हा लक्षात ठेवायचा आहे तुम्हाला. सो this is the third condition, that is multiplication between one positive and one negative integer. After this, the fourth condition that we are making, that is the multiplication between neutral number and other integers. That's in front of you. I am keeping multiplication between neutral number and other integers. Now into this, neutral number that we says as a 0, and other integer that it may be positive or it may be negative integer here. Now to verify this condition, here I am putting first example in front of you, 0 into minus 11. Now from standard third, we do the study of multiplication process, and our back teachers saying that when any numbers is multiplied by 0 or by any number, if we multiply to the 0, the product always gets 0 there. तिसरी पासून आपण गुणाकाराची क्रिया शिकलोच. मागच्या इयत्तांमध्ये शिकवत असताना तुम्हाला जे तुमच्या गणित विषयाचे शिक्षक येऊन गेलेले आहेत त्यांनी वारंवार त्या ठिकाणी एक्सप्लेन केलेलं आहे, तुम्हाला सांगितलेलं आहे कोणत्याही संख्येने शून्याला गुणलं किंवा कोणत्याही संख्येला शून्याने गुणलं तरी दोन्ही प्रकारांमध्ये गुणाकाराचं उत्तर हे नेहमी शून्यच असतं. म्हणून गुणाकार करताना दोन संख्यांपैकी एक संख्या शून्य असेल तर डोळे झाकून त्या गुणाकाराचं उत्तर आपण नेहमी शून्य लिहितो. तोच नियम या ठिकाणी आपण वापरणार आहोत. सो 0 into -11 that we get always 0. But how is it possible? So the first step, while taking the product of these two integer, let's take the magnitude. So magnitude of 0 is 0 into magnitude of -11, that is simply 11. Now in this product 0 into 11, one number is 0, so we write 0 here. That is the product of these two magnitude comes as 0. And if you think about the product, in the product we number get as a 0, that is integer. Now 0 is a neutral number, so we do not attach plus or minus sign to that number. So this is the answer of example. Now let's take another example in front of you, that is 191 into 0. Let's take. So 191, this is a positive integer and 0 is a neutral number. So while taking the product here, let's take magnitude of both integers here. So magnitude of 191 is 191 into magnitude of 0, 0. Now in this multiplication, one number is 0, so the product always gets 0 there. So we says here, when we continue the multiplication between neutral number and other integer, their product always gets as a neutral number, that is 0. चिन्हविरहित संख्या म्हणजे शून्य आणि इतर कोणतीही पूर्णांक संख्या या दोघांमध्ये जर आपण गुणाकाराची क्रिया घेतली तर गुणाकाराचं उत्तर नेहमी शून्यच त्या ठिकाणी येतं. तर या पद्धतीनं ही आपली चौथी अट या ठिकाणी आपल्याला पाहायची होती. तर या ठिकाणी एकूण 4 अटी आत्तापर्यंत आपण पाहिल्या आणि या ठिकाणी चारही अटींच्या संदर्भामध्ये त्या ठिकाणी आपल्याला थरोली, दॅट मीन्स इंटू द वर्ड्स आपल्याला काही नियम तयार करता येतात. वी कॅन स्टेट और वी कॅन राईट 4 rules or somewhat 3 rules here. By explanation all these 4 conditions here. So these rules are specified about signs multiplication. That's important fact here. Now we can say here rules for multiplication. The first rule that here I am writing in front of you, positive integer into positive integer is equal to, I am stating the product into the sign, that is positive integer, that's important here, that is plus into plus, we always get plus. So in signs here I am stating in this way, plus into plus that always get plus. This is your first rule. Thereafter, second rule that here I am writing in front of you. Negative integer into negative integer is equal to, again it makes plus here. That means the product of two negative integer is always positive integer there. So in sign here I am putting in front of you in this way, that is minus into minus. That means both are negative integer. Their product, it always comes as plus. That is the positive integer. Let's keep in mind. Thereafter, third rule that here I am stating in this way. Positive integer into negative integer is equal to, it always negative integer. That means the product of one positive and one negative integer is always negative integer. So if we put up according to the sign, that is plus into minus, that always get minus here. किंवा याला जर तुम्ही उलट लिहिलं तेही चालतं, minus into plus, that always minus, in this way. तर हे तीन नियम तुम्हाला गुणाकाराच्या बाबतीत नीट लक्ष ठेवायचे. याच नियमांचा वापर किंवा उपयोग हा आपल्याला रॅशनल नंबर्स परिमेय संख्यांमध्ये सुद्धा आपल्याला करायचा आहे, लक्षात ठेवा. सो दीज आर 3 important rules according to the multiplication of two given integers here. Now after explanation of these rules here, now we can multiply between or more than two integers also. As like addition, we also know that as like addition we also do the multiplication process between or more than two numbers at a time there. So how is this possible? Let's we verify with the help of one example that's in front of you. So I hope so you will be observe these rules carefully, and by keeping in mind all these rules, now we are solving the next example on this green board. So the next example that here I am taking, the example in this way, that is 5 into minus 3 into minus 1 into 7 into minus 4 into minus 2. This is the multiplication process that here I am taking between 6 different integers. Now we can do the multiplication of all these integers and we had to calculate one answer, that means one product. Now we had to decide whether that product is positive integer or negative integer. So how we can decide the step? Let's follow or let's observe carefully here. Now according to the rule, step by step we had to do the multiplication process. So we do the multiplication process at a time between two integers only. So first I am making underline here, that is for the first multiplication. So we had to do the multiplication between 5 and minus 3. If you think 5 is a positive integer, minus 3 is negative integer. So let's take product of their magnitude. So 5 3s are 15. With respect to the most important part, signs multiplication. So this is plus into minus. So plus into minus, according to the rule, minus sign comes. That means 5 into minus 3 we get as a minus 15 here. Now minus 1 into 7 into minus 4 into minus 2. Now with respect to here, the next multiplication that I want to continue between minus 15 into minus 1. Now both are negative integer. Now product between magnitudes, so 15 ones are 15. Now with respect to signs multiply, minus into minus, that always gets plus. Product of two negative integer is always positive integer. दोन ऋण पूर्णांक संख्यांचा गुणाकार हा नेहमी धन पूर्णांक असतो. Multiply 7 into minus 4 into minus 2. Now let's take the next multiplication process, that is between 15 and 7. Now 15, that is presently plus, that is positive integer, and 7, this is also positive integer. So this is the third multiplication, that is between two positive integer. So product of their magnitude, 15 sevens are 105. Thereafter signs multiply, plus into plus, that always get plus. So product of two positive integer, always positive integer. Now into minus 4 into minus 2. Now let's take the next multiplication, that is between 105 and minus 4. 105, this is a positive integer, and minus 4 negative integer. First we do the multiplication of their magnitude. So 105 into 4, I think it will becomes as 420. Thereafter important signs multiplication, plus into minus, that gets minus here. That means the product of one positive and one negative integer is always negative integer. एक धन पूर्णांक संख्या आणि एक ऋण पूर्णांक संख्या या दोघांचा गुणाकार हा ऋण पूर्णांक संख्याच असतो. So minus 420 we get. Thereafter into minus 2. Now this is our last multiplication. Minus 420 into minus 2. So into this last multiplication we obtain two negative integer. First we take the product of their magnitude. So 420 and 2. The product of these two magnitude, I think it comes as 840. Thereafter signs multiply, minus into minus, that always get plus. That means the product of two negative integer is always positive integer. So if we do the whole multiplication process step by step here, I am saying step by step, then we got the final answer as 840, that is plus 840, that is a positive integer. So this is the multiplication process. In this multiplication process there are main two steps only. The first step, that is we take the product of magnitudes of given integer, and second step, that's important here, after taking the product of their magnitudes we had to take the product of their signs also. दोन पूर्णांक संख्यांचा गुणाकार करत असताना महत्त्वाचे दोनच कृती आपल्याला त्या ठिकाणी करायच्या आहेत. पहिली कृती, दिलेल्या दोन पूर्णांक संख्यांच्या चिन्हविरहित किमती घ्या आणि त्यांचा नेहमीप्रमाणे गुणाकार करा. पहिलीच कृती, पहिली स्टेप तुमची कंप्लीट होईल. दुसऱ्या स्टेपमध्ये तुम्हाला काय करायचं आहे, गुणाकाराचं उत्तर तयार केलं तुम्ही. आता त्यासोबत दिलेल्या दोन पूर्णांक संख्यांना जे चिन्ह जोडलेले आहेत त्या चिन्हांचा विचार करा आणि त्या चिन्हांचा गुणाकार घेऊन येणारं उत्तर त्या ठिकाणी आलेल्या गुणाकाराला देऊन टाका. म्हणजे त्या ठिकाणी दोन पूर्णांक संख्यांच्या गुणाकाराचं उत्तर तयार होईल. तर या पद्धतीनं या ठिकाणी आपण मल्टिप्लिकेशन प्रोसेस या ठिकाणी करतोय. सो in this video number 3 we are explaining about the different conditions for the multiplication process, that is between two positive integer, two negative integer, one positive and one negative integer there, and thereafter by following those rules again we observe that or we learn that how to carry such multiplication that you are here I am showing on this green board, that is the multiplication between more than two integers here. That's important here. So we apply all rules here. Multiplication between two negative integer, multiplication between two positive integer, multiplication between one positive, one negative integer, and then multiplication between two negative integer. All rules that we follow into this example here. So if we do the rules or if we apply the rules properly, then we can calculate the product easily here. So keep all these rules in your mind clearly. You have to use all these rules up to 10 standard there. So that's sufficient into this video number 3 about multiplication process. So we have to stop here. In the next video number 4 we are getting the process of division of integer. Same way we are following the rules there also. So let's observe this multiplication process carefully, get understand here. So thank you, have a nice day.